Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today to learn how to start selling your products in the US. I'm Hillary Read. I'm Chief Marketing Officer of Cenports, and I'm really happy today to be joined by Cenports CEO Derrick Chen and AndMakers Chief Revenue Officer Lily Chan. AndMakers is a partner company of Cenports. So I know if you guys are new to the US market or trying to get into the US market, you get a ton of questions, and we're going to walk through a bunch of them today. That's going to give you a lot of information that you need to start growing your business in the United States. So before we launch into all of that, I'm going to ask Lily and Derrick to introduce themselves and talk a little bit about their backgrounds. So Derrick, let's start with you.
Yeah, hi, I'm Derrick, and I've been in the e-commerce for the last 15 years, working in drop shipping. So I was one of the first, like in 2006, around there, one of the first system engineers to build some sort of drop shipping platform to allow products to sell on like HomeDepot.com, Wayfair, Amazon, one of those early days when e-commerce probably about 3 to 4% of the U.S. market around that time.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. And then during that time, then I started learning how to do sell bathroom vanities online around 2010. So I was doing that for about 7 years, 7 to 8 years, selling stuff online, and also while I was working for in the mobile gaming industry, learning about servers and stuff. So right after that, that's when I first started to work on Cenports and build out the platforms and build a plug and play platform for Cenports.
That is awesome. I mean, I know, talking about 3 or 4% of the, the market share, and today, like accelerated by COVID, we're looking at like 16, 17, 18% is just going up for the e-commerce opportunity. That's awesome that you've been in it for that long. And Lily, I mean, your background is also amazing. So can you talk to some folks about it?
Yeah. So like Derrick, I've been in the e-commerce industry for about 15 years. I'm really lucky that for the first 10 years of it, I learned a lot about drop shipping, direct to consumer, worked on 500 different websites, managed a group of buyers and category managers. And we really learned about the partnerships of working with vendors and their warehouses in the US. And we help drop ship those items directly to the clients. From there, my background evolved into the wholesale model where we were flipping it and working B2B. And I'm so fortunate to also learn more about how that industry works, specifically in regards to working with different manufacturers. So if I tie the first 10 years and the latter 5, I realized though that there was an opportunity to really make the connections directly with the manufacturers, with the retailers. And so here we are with AndMakers and Cenports doing that.
Okay, so obviously we're talking to the right people here. I mean, between your experiences and kind of the 360-degree view of, the challenges at each step and for each party, I think you guys are going to have a ton to say that should be really, really insightful. So I have some experience in e-commerce, but I don't know what you guys know. So I kind of want to role play a little bit here. So let's say I'm a furniture supplier or manufacturer in Southeast Asia, right? How do I get my products in front of people in the US market, like put them on Wayfair or West Elm or sites like that?
Yeah, I could go further in details of that, but traditionally, if you are a manufacturer, you want to sell in the US, you have to find an importer to help you buy straightly from you, OEM for them, and then they distribute it in the US, right? So what we're trying to do is we're making the platform very easy. So the moment all you have to do is give us the FOB price of your products. We look at it, and then we'll help you arrange ocean freight, from ocean freights to drayage, from the trucking to our ports to our warehouse. So we arrange everything for you, and also have an AndMakers team to also help you sell products online. So it's a very quick and easy plug and play kind of solutions.
So if I didn't work with somebody like you, I would need to find my own warehouse, like set up all the paperwork. I probably wouldn't have any like volume based partnerships to get my products from here to there. Okay.
Yeah, and then
Makes
you have
sense.
to find your own ocean freight.
Yep.
Things are like, it's very, very expensive in regards to that.
Okay, cool. And you mentioned AndMakers. So Lily, how would, if I'm trying to find like, placements for my products in the United States, like what would I do?
Right. And another thing to add to that is, I think everyone would love this, but having to hire your own sales team is really challenging. And typically that's what you would have to do, or you're doing it yourself and you're not literally knocking on the door or, emailing everyone in an organization to try to get your products up there. As you can imagine, having really strong networks and relationships is really important. But if you're just starting out, like, I don't expect anyone to be able to get that easily. So working with AndMakers, we've nourished, our network. We also share with our retailers what we can provide to them. And I think one of the things that's really important when working with a retailer is making sure that you can follow their terms and conditions, or their SLAs, right? So one of the things is that they require fulfilling products within 48 hours, shipping, a small parcel, following all the rules. And so with AndMakers, we can be able to supply that. So there's trust built. So with any relationship, especially when you're trying to get your products up on these websites, is, are you going to do what you say you're going to do? And can you follow what I'm going to ask you to do?
So if you bring on a partner who's got more of a reputation, it's not like a leap of faith for the retailer for a party they don't know. It's more like, we've already got this infrastructure, we've got this relationship. That makes sense. Okay, so you're on Wayfair. Say you guys have used your connections to get folks on Wayfair, the merchandising team on Wayfair, the category folks are aware of your products, people start buying them. So once that happens, which is great, right? Like, how do we get products from the warehouse, whichever, whether it's my warehouse, your warehouse, or whatever, how do we get those products to the end customer?
Yeah, so that would be under the fulfillment side. Traditionally, if you don't have, let's say, an e-commerce operation system, then you will actually log into Wayfair, let's say Overstock, Home Depot, manually log it, transfer those data into your UPS account, and then type it in. And then after that, you will have your fulfillment teams pick the product, stage it outside for UPS or FedEx, any kind of small parcel companies come pick it up. And yeah, that's the non-automation manual type of work. So, but if you have an e-commerce system such as our platform, what we could do is that all the integrations is ready, automatically flow into our system. One click of a button, all the automations label gets generated. Our team, fulfillment team, down in the warehouse, pick all that stuff, put it out there. So, and then once we put it out there, UPS will actually pick up that product and ship it directly to the Wayfair customer or the Home Depot customer, the end customer. Yeah.
So if I had my own warehouse, then I'd have to hire my own crew, establish processes, like either set up software, make sure there's a QA process for manual. Okay.
Yeah.
So good to know the options for sure. And so like, once orders start flowing, like obviously customers are going to have questions about stuff, assembly, maybe they want to return, refunds, whatever. Like, do I handle those? Would a partner handle those? Like, how does that work?
Oh yeah.
So part of working with AndMakers, we have a customer service team that will also manage all of that. So imagine if you're in wherever, Asia or Europe or South America, right? Because we have developed our proprietary ERP system where you can log in, you can track all of the orders and all the inventory. So we make it easy for you to be able to see what's going on, but our customer service team will be able to manage those questions like, where's my order? What's the size of this, et cetera, et cetera.
Got it. And so that means I wouldn't be getting information directly. So say like, we've got this product that keeps breaking or whatever. Would we hear about that? So like, we change packaging or let's say our packaging was too bulky and it was costing us like a ton on shipping. Like, would you guys give us that feedback?
Yeah, so I would say that there's three things that we could do here. One is proactively provide you the information. We have our SLAs, we have examples of what would make that product survive its journey from our warehouse to the end user. As you can probably imagine, working with partners like UPS, USPS, FedEx, they're worried about their numbers, so they're going to just ship immediately. So obviously, if you're going to have a marble table or whatever it might be, we want to make sure that it's packaged properly so that down the line, there aren't going to be issues. The second thing, right, is that we are given real-time numbers in regards to working with these different platforms on what are like ship damage, all that good stuff. And there's also something else that we have to be careful with, which is defective items. And we hope that we are going to be working with manufacturers who are going to have quality control from from the get-go and not have it go all the way down to when the retailer is letting us know that there's an issue.
Right.
The third thing is so proactive, getting real-time analytics, and then the future. So there are going to be times where it might not be packaged properly, right? So we have our fulfillment team that can rebox, number one, or we can kind of analyze the situation and see, okay, what we can do to prevent it. Will we do the drop test? Like one instance that I'm working on right now is we're going to do strapping for them because the manufacturer didn't put straps. So we're going to see if that will also help the journey of this item.
Got it. And I mean, if you're working in, say, furniture, like my example would be furniture, you've probably dealt with products that are from other suppliers or whatever that are similar. So you've got experience with packaging and you kind of know what works. Got it. So you guys have talked about, ocean freight, ground ship, like UPS, FedEx and stuff. Like how would I benefit if I went with you guys? Because I'm sure you have more volume, with your set of partners than I would on my own. Like what would that get me if I went through you guys?
I think if you go through us, it would be we have really good UPS shipping rates, and we have good ocean freights right now. We're partnered with Castlegate, and if you put your product up on Wayfair, then we're able to help you get the rates. So in regards to that, so
yeah, because prices are kind of going through the roof right now, right? With ocean freights, that's kind of a big thing.
Yeah. And then, so I think, and then also we have good UPS rates. That's, the more volume we're getting, and then we always pass on that savings to our customers.
Got it.
Yeah.
Pass through. That's great. Okay. So things are clicking. I've got my furniture up on some sites. Like we've got shipping taken care of. We've got a customer service team to handle any issues. I'm getting some feedback from you guys about packaging or, process and stuff like that. I'm on a couple different retail platforms. Things are going well. Let's say I'm like, cool, we got this manufacturing facility. We can actually make more products. Like, how do I know, or how could you guys help me know what new products are gonna sell? Like what new products I should make? If I'm making, bunk beds, who's gonna tell me, actually, you know what, loft beds are really hot right now?
Yeah, so I would say number one is stick to what you know. Like if you're already producing that and you're working with other countries that is not in the US and those are top sellers, I would go focus on that. I love the shallow but wide approach, which is to bring on 50 SKUs, maybe have a low MOQ of 10 to 20 or whatnot, maybe have some variety in regards to colors. And then from there, see what sticks. As you probably know, the 80-20 rule, right? But we're trying to actually flip that, right? We don't want to have all of our sales just be on the 20% or whatnot. So if we can focus on getting more top sellers early on, that'd be great. That's first thing. And the second thing is we are really, really connected with our retailers. So they're often telling us what's the product gaps they have, and they're sending us information. So we gather that information and we share that with our vendors. Obviously, again, the manufacturer will have to take that info and see if that your facility can produce that. The third thing is that we are provided, and we also subscribe to different analytical tools. We have a dedicated team that will focus on seeing what is kind of in the industry that is needed.
So like last year in March, maybe you guys could have told me, look, kids are having to do work, study from home. They can't go to school. They're learning from school. If you can make a kid's desk, that's going to start selling because every kid is now learning from home. Like that, you could have done that.
Right. And a lot of people are working from home. So office chairs is a huge category. We need desks. Companies were providing their employees with a stipend to purchase furniture. So that was where, that was a huge demand, and we were working with our manufacturers to get some of those products. As we also are heading into, seasonality, right? So patio furniture, then patio heaters is going to come up. Another thing that actually really was interesting too was because people were working from home more, cooking at home, right? We like pizzas, so one of the products that really took off too was a pizza oven from Guyver that allowed folks to eat really good, pizzas at home, make something with your children or whatnot. And It also was a really good price point to not like break your bank, like with
Right.
the whatever $1,000 plus pizza oven.
Because you couldn't exactly go to like out to eat at your favorite pizza restaurants last year, right? Like most things were
Right.
takeout at best. Okay, cool. So like you're getting that information pretty much real time from your retail partners. That's great. Okay, cool.
Right.
So sounds like either you guys or a series of partners who are doing what you guys are doing can help you like sell products, fulfill orders, get your product from here to there, customer service, give you some insights on like new products to build, help keep your products in stock, and say like, hey, you're running low, you got to start the next batch and all that.
Mhm.
That too. So you
Yes.
guys, okay. So the software you have,
I guess
lets
we
you.
can say we do pretty much all the wonderful work.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm gonna take my customer hat off now because obviously I work with you too. So this is always fun to talk to you guys about this stuff because your experience is so deep. My experience is in marketing and advertising, so that's another layer that we can provide to, or somebody should provide, right? Like whether it's us or whether you're working with another partner or maybe you have an in-house team, but often it's not enough just to list your products on these platforms. You can imagine something like Wayfair or Amazon or Overstock. Like there's thousands and thousands of products even within a specific category that you may be in. So we work with vendors to assess options like, do you need influencers on social media who can help push your products? Are you are you running and then keeping track of performance on advertising campaigns on like a Wayfair or Overstock? They have their own channels, right? Like you can advertise your own if you have your own website. You can use Facebook, Google, things like that. But a lot of the volume that our vendors get come from the retail platforms themselves, all of which have their own in-house advertising. So having somebody to kind of keep track of that and centralize it and say, hey, you know what, like this grill, this Guyver pizza oven is selling amazingly well on Home Depot, but it's not actually doing all that well on Wayfair. So I would recommend you take your marketing budget and redistribute it mostly to Home Depot because you're getting more bang for the buck there. That's a really important component too. If you don't have folks like and again, you can build your own team for this, or find just a marketing company. But this is something that's another layer that you need to consider when you're trying to think about like how to move your products once they get in. Because as you two know specifically, like once you have your products in a warehouse, like it's not cheap just to keep them there, right? Like you want to keep them moving, you want to make room for new inventory, things like that. So sales velocity is really important. To have somebody keeping an eye on that is like a really important piece of the puzzle. That said, is there anything else I should know if I'm in the audience, if I'm listening to Derrick and Lily and I'm like, okay, I'm ready. What else do I need to know to get started here?
I would say, at the end of the day, you want to stay present, right? So that you can actually analyze your business and find the right partner to work with. And at the end of the day, you're the one making the decision, not anyone else. So if you can make sure that, understand your business and stay present for that, but also be present when you're trying to research some of the other, potential folks that could help you with your business. I've noticed that in building this company, we lean on each other, especially the team members, but we also are leaning on our external partners. And even to a degree, our clients are, I don't say that our clients are just clients, we're actually partners. We try to figure it out together. We are a startup, right? I'm not gonna hide that fact. And so as we're growing together to build the sales for, our different brands, we're leaning on each other and we're trusting each other.
That makes sense. I mean, I think with an industry, e-commerce, it's growing so quickly, you're going to have a lot of like new players popping out of the woodwork, and relationships is going to be really important as you kind of build this thing, right? Derrick, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I think I just want to touch upon maybe there's the different price points and margins and profitabilities of each tier and who's responsible for which part, right? So normally when we go to talk to our factories and we get an FOB price, right? So the FOB price is basically inclusive for the trucking from the factory to the port, to the is it destination port? No, there's an origin port.
Mhm.
And the FOB price, all the expense, it should be included in the FOB price, including the price you make the raw material and the profit, the margin profit from the factory. So right after that price point, from ocean freight to all the way to warehousing, to the destination warehouse, to the trucking, and also who's responsible for inventory costs, warehousing, paying warehouse rent, fulfillment costs. So that cost is built into that piece right there. And let's say your FOB price is $100, and then the second tier price, the wholesale price, is another $100. So that $100 profit, you're responsible for all that, all these expenses, including returns and customers issues, things like that on the operation side. And then from there on, so like now your wholesale price is $200 and you sell it to Wayfair, and then Wayfair sells it for $350. That $150 is responsible for the last mile delivery, which is the UPS cost, the FedEx, the shipping, the last mile shipping cost for these brands, for the product. So, and also including marketing. I think the rule of thumb in the marketing industry is what, 30% of the sales of the product to put it in there. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So that's the different type of cost in each different level of the profit margin. And then yeah. So and then yeah.
Would you guys also work with me on pricing to make sure that that's all, like, after all said and done with all the fees, that I would make money by selling products?
Yeah, I was just going to recommend, right, probably one of the easiest ways to kind of see the whole picture of what Derrick just mentioned is to email your FOB pricing to partners@Cenports.com so that our team can share P&L and break down all the different costs that are involved. And so then that way we can walk you through an example of, okay, am I going to A, make money, and B, how much?
Yeah.
Right. And then I imagine you guys have a sense of the competitive landscape too, to say, we need to tweak some things to get you in line with where you're going to start moving this product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So
yeah.
Anything else, Derrick? I didn't mean to cut
I
you
have
off.
one more thing. It's just so I just want to reiterate the business model. When people talk about e-commerce, right? There's a lot of different business models. Like the latest you always hear, direct to consumer brands, right? So what they mean in exactly what is direct to consumer brand means that you have your own website, and you're responsible for manufacturing, storing, and also and have a good marketing team to market your product, such as you start your own Shopify store, WooCommerce store, and then you start marketing. That's really kind of a direct to consumer brand, right? You ship it directly to your end customers. But the model we're talking about right now is we're really talking about e-commerce wholesale distribution. Means that drop shipping, right? So you leverages the brands of the Wayfair, the Home Depot, for customers to trust that brand to come in and you put your product into their platform to sell. And that's the big difference between like wholesale e-commerce distribution and direct to consumer. So just want to make sure that we get these terms right for our folks out there.
Yeah, like we don't need to pay for Wayfair marketing, exactly. Because like millions and millions of people already know to go to Wayfair if they need a couch or whatever.
Yeah.
That's totally.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool. This has been awesome, guys. Like honestly, like I work with you and I learned some stuff today. So like, thank you very much. And I'm sure, if you're in the audience, you probably learned a ton. Lily gave us an email address earlier. I want to reiterate it. It's partners@Cenports.com. You'll be able to see it at the bottom of the screen here. I know these guys are always willing to get on the phone and share advice and insight, and whether or not you want to work with us. Like I know both of them have spent decades doing that for folks in the e-commerce and retail industries. So, hit us up, let us know how we can help. Anything you guys want to end with here?
Thank you, Hillary. I think
thank you, Hillary.
Appreciate you doing this for us.
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Bye.